And good afternoon, Gauteng. Good afternoon, Meyerton. Good afternoon, surrounding areas. I'm so happy to be here, and I just want to thank the women of 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘 for inviting us. That is the Fraser Foundation to this event, to this beautiful event. I just wanted to tell the next person next to you that they are indeed beautiful. Thank you. You will absolutely stunning. Thank you, Program Director, for giving that tribute to my CV. You were my profile. Indeed, the Fraser Foundation is on a mission to give women a voice economically, socially, and emotionally through various initiatives. And as iterated earlier on, I do believe that service to mankind is the highest calling of all. It's driven by this perspective as a woman. I feel the need to advocate for women and children who are always struggling and those that are unable to fight for themselves. The definition of marginalized women, according to the Fraser Foundation, is that it's those individuals who face systematic barriers to economic, social, and emotional well-being. These women live amongst us and include survivors of abuse or gender-based violence, women in rural or underdeveloped areas, unemployed and uneducated women, single mothers with no stable income, and those affected by substance abuse or incarceration. The focus on empowering these women and the areas that we talk about is to ensure that they benefit from agribusiness, sustainable farming, entrepreneurship, and micro-enterprise development. What we are also forgetting is the digital divide that we find ourselves in. Digital literacy and remote working skills, vocational training in trades such as tailoring, food processing, caregiving, financial management, and business skills is at the core and forefront of women. I usually say that women are the anchors of their homes. They are a critical component in all spheres. I was saying to my cousin over there that without wanting to play the feminist role, if men felt that they held it together and they had it all, for example in the workplace, why would they need women? If we did not recognize the need to coexist, right? And let me just share a story of how I founded the Fraser Foundation and what propelled me to want to embark on my current journey. A few years ago, without any warning at all, I realized that my general outlook on life just changed from one day to another. My energy was super low, I was irritable and short-fused, and here's the strangest part. I only wanted to wear the standard dress, as if there were no other items in my wardrobe, right? And whenever I used to wake up and prepare to go to work, there was a struggle of going into that wardrobe and checking which outfit would be appropriate for that day. And the mood, of course, because we cannot discount the fact that we as women wear according to our mood, right? Yes. And it is okay not to be okay on certain days, right? We need to accept that we're human beings. We've got emotions, we have feelings. Thank goodness I had enough sense to get help, but we could have known that wanting to wear the very same outfit every day was a sign of mental decline. I had to lose myself before realizing that I needed help. And I've got this story to share with you. This started when I hit my 40s and my body efficiency started to decrease. Typically, women do experience hormonal changes related to perimenopause, causing fluctuations in behavior and thinking. When I went through this phase, it's when I started to connect the dots and think about the many women who struggle with so many things at this particular juncture and stage in their lives, and the emotional turmoil that one goes through. It just comes at another level. This being said, to us women, ever feel how we never dealt with those traumatic and unresolved experiences or issues whilst, for example, growing up? What about the time you were jilted by your first love? We never thought to think about it. Who at some point took away your virginity. Those are the realities of a traumatic experience that we go through. The broken trust by those who trusted the most, from parents to friends and colleagues at work. What about the time when you found out you were pregnant as a single mom, or for that matter, a married woman who is not yet ready to have a child? How did you deal with the grief of losing a parent and a child like myself? And you cannot handle or deal with that grief because we handle grief differently. We handle grief differently. And I said, grief varies from one person to the next person as well. For some, they don't recover as they struggle to connect. Those deep emotions leave physical and emotional scars. They do. Because other people don't recover from emotional distress, from grief. No matter how hard you try to bring them out of the dark mind. As a result, you do find others struggling to connect and heal spiritually, and start confusing it with spiritual calling. Yes. We're starting to also learn that trauma is not necessarily those significant blow-up events like a massive car accident, surviving severe abuse or being combat, However, it's those difficult conversations that are really spoken about. Remember when you were told, or someone that you know that has gone through abuse, don't speak about it. Is that not traumatic? Is that not traumatic enough? When you are stressed, when you are confined and nailed against the wall. And as such, they fail because we approach these battles over who is right or wrong. Yes, the battle is never to bring solutions. It is about how wrong you are. You become the villain here for speaking up. You become the enemy for talking up. When do we begin to hold these conversations? When do we begin to assert ourselves and say, enough is enough? All I'm saying is that the goal should be to understand each other's perspective, right? And share our own way that fosters mutual learning, respect, and problem-solving lessons. And I guess that is why we are here. We are fostering those problem-solving lessons by gathering together as women, by gathering together as a community. No man is an island. We cannot do it alone. Remember, in whatever way you project, you hear, you see, you do, you need other people. We need each other. We also need to acknowledge the complexities that recognize that most issues and conflicts that we are confronted with are not necessarily color-coded. Pain is pain. Pain knows no gender. Pain knows no color. Pain knows no creed nor religion. Each person brings their own experiences, emotions, and interpretations to the table, and all of these feelings are valid in their own way. They are valid. And that's why I said that we tend to discount and to rubbish when people come out and we start to say, when do we begin to speak about it? It's not easy to apply these lessons as we sometimes listen to understand, not to respond. You already heard what I said. Because we want to amplify the response, but not listening attentively and with empathy. How can we, as a collective, as women, change the narrative? Mine is this: do transform your pain power. You know yourself better. In Xhosa they say, undoda uzazi. Uzazi lakasi. Undoda uzazi. Use your experience of pain as fuel for growth. Define your own identity and purpose based on your own experiences, not on others' perceptions. Not on others' perceptions. People want to hear about you, not hearsay about others. They want real life testimonies. It's got to be tangible. Recognize your identity. Who are you? Do you know who you are? I know this is very difficult, by the way. We underscore how we are, who we are. Our significance is to live our lives to our fullest potential. Hey, we start that sentence with, when we become defensive, when we tell our own stories, then we say, he's or they behaving because I come from this poor background. Stop it. Take ownership of your own life. Stop making those excuses and take responsibility of your thoughts, actions, and outcomes. It is going to happen because we are human beings. It is going to happen. They're never going to change how they see you. So don't give them the power to treat you the way you also did. Don't give anybody power to disrespect you.
Yeah.
Shape your destiny through your choices and decisions. I heard this lady one day, I offer counseling to various individuals in various capacities, by the way. And she said, my husband, I don't like the way he treats me. I am working, I do this, I do that, I do this, I. I started to ask this question when I was listening. I said, so and so. How do you feel? Not him. Because it's about, throughout our discussions, it was about somebody else. How do you feel? How do you want him to treat you? And she started to shake. She started to shake because I was asking a difficult question. It's not so difficult, but we always want to make it difficult because we never apply a conscious decision and choice that we want to make for ourselves, not for other people. So shape your destiny through your choices and decisions. Discover your purpose. It's so nice and important to understand your purpose. This will also help you reflect on your gifts and calling and realize what you are destined to achieve. Yes, Mama Oba. Yes. In that short space of time, she told us her story and how she managed to get herself out of the situation and look what God has done for her. Look what God has done to her. These are the living examples of what we go through and what trauma is, and how we can triumph as women through that. We also need to realize the importance of spiritual formation. And we're able to connect to faith and integrate the spiritual paths in seeking divine direction in the journeys that we traverse on in order to fulfill our purpose. Are we able to navigate and use that compass to navigate our spiritual formation? You cannot do it alone. I did say this in the beginning. That dedicated devotional integration to becoming who you were meant to be in maximizing your true potential is required. And you hold the keys to it. Because it is that key that you need to unlock in prayer. Prayer is key. Prayer is key. When we pray, it becomes habitual. Miracles become your lifestyle. Miracles don't become your lifestyle. Navigate your own path towards self-discovery and resilience. And that will lead to better understanding yourself and the capacity for you to thrive, because you know yourself better. Now you will have the ability to use a measuring stick to say that this is what I can be able to do. This is what I'm capable of doing. Recognize worth as healing becomes a continuous process for you. As I said, grief is different and is handled differently for many people and for one person to another. So that healing process, you need to recognize that there are steps. You cannot control everything. Just know that. So let go of what you can't control. There's this thing called emotional agility. Don't be stuck in the past. Us women love. You know, every time you see someone, oh, yes, I'm supposed to do some. Where is we know. But can we move on? Can we move on from it? Because it is that part of healing process for you. It is that part of a stepping stone for you to build blocks to your growth and survival. Change and don't hold grudges. You will better understand yourself when you are able to manage emotions to achieve better results and your well-being. What we also don't want to do, and it's understandable because it means that if we don't accept vulnerability, we're weak. Accept vulnerability. We need to accept it. Do we even want to reflect on our own hesitations? Like when you're defensive and not wanting to reach out to others. And not even wanting to help. Do Do we only put that armor of defense just closely for the hesitance in us? We put it on because you are so hesitant. You are not sure of yourself. Because you are scared that people will know that you are vulnerable. We do not want to echo the universal truth of our shared humanity. We don't do that. We just hold on to these different things. How do we forge deeper connections without that veil of pride? If we had it all, we wouldn't be here. If we had it all, if we had that puzzle all together, we would not be here. So what I'm saying is that in as much as we see vulnerability as the weakness, it could be our strength. Because it means that therefore we just need to come out of that shell. Sharing your struggles can help others to reject, connect, and create a sense of community. Rejection is part of life, but it is part of life. It's easily said than done. Embrace it. I once read something that said, stop waiting for external validation. The only approval that you need is your own. The only approval that you need is your own. You're waiting, before we came here, whilst I was scrolling through my messages, I heard this lady on TikTok was saying that, man, why when I go there, it's getting fun and stuff. Why don't I know? Why don't you tell me that I look good in my skirt, but when I went and decided to go and buy the same skirt that I'm wearing? And this other friend of hers, they were apparently leaving the house going somewhere to an event because they were dressed nice and says, in the skirt, as it's funny, look at how shabby you look. And I was saying that, okay, it's actually birds of the same feathers that flocking together. Because she is wanting affirmations and validations from her friend, but she's not able to reciprocate. She doesn't want to do that. And why do you want to do it on social media rather than calling your friend if you regard that as a friend? Why do you want to put it out on social media? Besides spreading the message, of course, but if you have a genuine friend, you're concerned about a friend, call them and tell them. Learn to tolerate you alone, not other people. You need to tolerate yourself. So work with your anger management issues. It's difficult to tolerate other people if you can't tolerate yourself. Don't be so understanding to the level of overlooking disrespect. And you do it a lot, right? You only get angry once it's done. You don't raise it when it's been said or when it happens. And now, when you assert yourself to that disrespect, they want to seek validation from others. We are confronted. So you can't take the disrespect back. So you were meant to ensure that you humiliate from your side. That's what you are good at. But when somebody does it in return, you don't accept it because you find yourself having the upper hand over other people. Remember this. Your people will find you if you make sense to those who truly matter. To those that truly matter, here we are. Here we are, women and substantial women of China. Give yourselves a round of applause. Your intuition never lies. Your intuition never lies. Your inner voice knows best. Listen and trust it. It will take you places you've never been. It will. If your sixth sense tells you that something is not right, it ain't right. It ain't good. Trust it. Learn to celebrate others. I've spoken about it. And get out of this mode of thinking that everyone is jealous of you. Yes, not everyone is going to be jealous of you. Their success doesn't tell your life. You're in your zone, and you're lane, by the way. So, when it's my time, nobody can say no. If it's her time, nothing stands in no one's way. Because the final arbiter is only God. Keep an open mind to constructive criticism. This will foster growth. You cannot always be right. We learn from mistakes. We do make mistakes. That's all. You must be prepared to learn from others. Proverbs 14:1 states, "A wise woman builds a house, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands." Sure. The importance of wisdom in building and maintaining good relations is very crucial. Also highlighting how foolishness, lack of character cannot be sustainable. And lastly, but not the least, beautiful women, practice self-love, and self-awareness. Set boundaries and protect your energy. Not everything is meant for you. Not everything is meant for you. You know what you're doing. Your steps have been commanded by the Almighty. It's not by mistake, by the way. You do make mistakes, but He does not make mistakes. Because He knows that you will rectify the mistakes if you have a teachable spirit. You are not man by the way. So I will not wait for people to like you or love you. I'm so hard on us. I was not trying to do it. I was saying the same time. I was so I was young. Remember that always. In closing, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude on behalf of the Fraser Foundation to you. By embracing a learning mindset, we can transform trauma, conflicts into opportunities for connection, growth, and resolution. This only helps us to navigate through life's situations with confidence and compassion. Do what you would like to be done unto you. I thank you.